What's up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And it sounds like I'm whispering right now, but it's for a good reason because I just put my nephew to sleep, so I'm gonna have to whisper on what exactly for weeks for now until he wakes back up. I'm gonna talk about what exactly went down on AEW Collision because this is the Collision review video, like on April 5th, 2025 for y'all today. We got so many entertaining stuff that went on tonight on this latest edition, on the Go Home edition of Collision. And yes, I will indeed, yes, sir, ma'am, I will indeed be making a uh what's that called? A post review, what's it called? Prediction segment. Let you know who I think is gonna personally gonna win on the AEW Dynasty event, and also we like I get it, and this is where we got. We'll start off the video with a very, I'll say, a very decent match. Before I get into that, I want to let you guys know, like some all kinds of great stuff that happens, and we got so many entertaining matches. Even the squash match was pretty intriguing. This was probably a pre-taped episode because they were still in Peoria, Illinois. They probably did this like the day after on Thursday. But let me know down in the comment section right down below what your thoughts were. But I'll say one of the matches in particular, they did a very phenomenal job. Like especially the main event as well. Like with which Anthony Khan, which showed that looked like Anthony Khan's been watching my videos and see how I feel about AEW, and I think they're doing a super phenomenal / I'll say amazing job. Like when it comes to their programming in general, like next to the company that they're competing against, I think this is why they call it the best wrestle. And I don't give a damn like who says that that they're phoning it in or saying that they're having lack of bringing lack of interest and intrigued like into their audience, which I totally disagree. But also, the main event, it totally had me convinced that I'll never, which Anthony Khan, I should say, himself probably had me convinced, to never criticize him, or even if I do, even if in a positive way, I'll never do so ever again because he never let me down, not even once. But the ending, I can say we could debate on that, but like at the same time, it was understandable. And also we got some very some other pretty interesting elements on the show, like and I'll say what other segment that went on. I'm trying to remember in particular. Oh yeah, we got some face-to-face confrontation. We got some matches that they're continuing to build up into their pay-per-view match, and some vignettes that have us very intrigued. It's like the AEW's version of the biggest spectacle of the wrestling world, which we're going to be talking about at the end of the month in April, which we all know is the Showcase of the Immortals, but that's a different video for a different day for a different company. But moving on, we're going to start off with is Kyle Fletcher, and Kyle Fletcher taking on, what was it? Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita taking on Tomohiro Ishii and Powerhouse Hobbs. This was a pretty good opener match that probably likely deserves the silver trophy of the night. I know, like, that just doesn't make any sense, but like I said, given that given all these matches were silver and golden worthy bouts, there's no really surprise on what I'm gonna be given on in the top two list. But anyways, that's where we got Tomohiro Ishii and Konosuke Takeshita start Irish whipping each other right into to hit a shoulder tackle. This is where then we got some forearm strikes right directly in the face, right onto Tomohiro Ishii and Konosuke Takeshita. This is where we got what else happened is where we got right when they Like Konosuke Takeshita won the battle. Like this is where he tried Irish whip Tamahiro right into the right course. He ends up trying to go for shoulder tackle, but unfortunately he couldn't put down the what's it called the former AEW International Champion. But this is where we probably got Konosuke Takeshita the shoulder tackle. This is where he went right back and Tamahiro went back at him. This is where they start going hitting each other with them until both of them ran out of energy. And when the last time they run go and try to knock each other down, they end up doing so, but they end up both falling at the same time. This is where we got Powerhouse Hobbs get the hot tag by what's his name, Tamahiro. This is where Kyle Fletcher tried to go for a tag. He gets the tag, but he was looking like he was about to take it back, but he cannot do it fully because Konosuke Takeshita's down. So he had no choice but to get into the ring. This is where they start walking around. This is where then. And also, like, I also want to let y'all guys know, like, I totally forgot to tell you assassinators that like for some reason like Nigel McGuinness was that he had to miss tonight's AEW Collision tapings. Well, that was pre-taped, and for some reason, like I'm not sure what was the reason, but we're probably gonna figure it out soon. But like you would expect me to be happy about this, right? Well, unfortunately, that's not what happened because let's just say it was not like a substitute on like Taz or even Excalibur. It was unfortunately none other than the one and only Mr. Donald Callis. I'm like this. That's why I was like, what? Like he's gonna be when Antonio Schiavone like was announced it. I'm like, yeah, this is like, and I would never say this in a billion years, but this is worse than Nigel behind the commentary desk. But this is where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs finally got into a grapple with Kyle Fletcher. Back to the match recap. This is where then we got when he got him right to the upper right corner. This is where Kyle Fletcher, I'm going to the rope, so the rope break. Powerhouse Hobbs had to let go because of the reason, because he don't want to lose. But this is where then we got Kyle Fletcher that ends up getting the upper hand, starts stomping him in that exact same corner. This is where the fans are like, boo. And I wouldn't be surprised if instead of saying the proto star, they would call him. Like instead of with a T, it'll be with a M or N, an N. It's with an N, like which you all probably already know what that means. Like when you drop the T and put an N in there. But this is where we got Power Tops. Finally got the in control. Hit a shoulder tackle on him. Send him right to that exact same corner. Hit some punches left, right, left, bobbing, weaving, like Whimspur and thank you, sir. I guess you could say. This where then he saw Tomohiro Ishii is back on into his corner along with Konosuke Takeshita doing the same. This where he ends up tagging the Japanese pit bull, or the stone face pit bull. That's what he probably likes to be called. This where he hits a forearm strike. Then we got the powerhouse. Then went right onto the top. Hit a big old pouncing shoulder tackle right onto him. This is where we got not the former TNT champion, went right back to his corner. This is where we got the stone face Pitbull was in the ring with the Proto Star. This is where then he picks him up. This is where somehow Kyle Fletcher amazingly body slammed the Pitbull. This is where then then the little pose is where then he goes for a run right to the left side, but it's where he ends up getting tripped right over by Suka Rocky Romero. This is where we're trying to deny what Tomohiro Ishii was pretending that trying to distract the referee, but luckily Greg Knox didn't see it. This is where, but he did see him tagging Powerhouse Hobbs, Tomohiro Ishii, like this where then but he ends up getting booted out in these corners where we got the two members of the Donald Callis family double Irish whips, Tomohiro right into the bottom corner side. They hit a double shoulder tackle. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita and what's his name? Kyle Fletcher to start do a fist bump. This is where then we got the partial powerful force and all of pro wrestling came on with the commercial break. This is where they start going for some forearm strikes repeatedly after and after. This is where we got once they got done with the adverts. This is where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs ends up going for a clothesline right onto like the next thing we know, because he got tagged in and he was making a comeback. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs then left down the straps, then hits a running Uranagi slam or slamming standing organized. And this is where Konosuke Takeshita try to come in and help out his partner. He tried to go for a pump knee, but only gets his leg caught. This is where he gets the forearm strike. Powerhouse Hobbs ends up throwing him right to the left side, about him with a double A spine buster. Only for Konosuke Takeshita did a front elbow into him. This is where he tried to go for the blue thunder bomb, but once that didn't work, he ends up trying to go for German suplex. At first, he was struggling until he finally hits him right fully on the cue. This is where we got. But that's where we got Konosuke Takeshita hits the double A spine buster. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita then ends up yeah, I mean, this is where he tried to run up and try to hit that running knee majiggy maneuver, only for him to get caught up with a spine buster. Let me rephrase that. This is where then we got him ends up tagging in Tomohiro. This is where then we got the stone face pitbull star hitting some forearm strikes repeatedly right onto the face, onto the proto star. But this is where then we got what's his name? Kyle. This is where then he tried to throw him right to the left side, but this is where Kyle Fletcher threw him instead. This is where he tried to hang on the rope to dodge him, but he ends up getting drop kicked by Kyle. But this is where I guess it's like a finisher maneuver next, like because like Lightning does not strike twice, like when he did his move, because this is where he tried to go for a body slam, only for Tomohiro to flip right because due to Kyle was struggling. Like, and yeah, he might have got lucky once, but he was never lucky again. This is where then we got him getting hit with a back suplex. Then this is where then Kyle Fletch, Konosuke Takeshita thought he got, what's his name, Powerhouse Hobbs number. This is where he hits the standing German suplex onto what's the name onto Tommy He finally got him. This is where they hit. This is where Powerhouse Hobbs try to go for a double clothesline, but this is where both Fletcher and Takeshita go for a duck, hit a double drop, super kick, I should say. That's where then they go for a double front kick. This is where then we got this is where we got the Alpha and the Proto Star to try to go for like the suplex, double powerbomb Majiggy off the top rope, but only for Tomohiro Ishii did a move that I thought he would never do in AEW, and that was a Hurricane Rana. I'm like, how in the hell? Like, I would have expected him someone like Powerhouse Hobbs. I would not expect him to do something athletic like that. But this is where we got, this is where Konosuke Takeshita attacks Ishii, however, but luckily Powerhouse Hobbs came in, but he ends up getting struck by the Alpha. But luckily the Stone Face Pitbull came in, lifts him up, put him onto the arms of Powerhouse Hobbs to hit a spinning power slam. Like, boom! And this is where we got. That's where then we got Powerhouse Hobbs hits a power slam right onto the Kyle Fletcher while Stoneface Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii went to the left side, hits a flying clothesline, then did a power scream like if he's Super Saiyan. This is where then we got him then going for a suplex, only for Kyle Fletcher trying to go for wrist lock and shoulder tackle, but this is where he ends up getting headbutt by Tomohiro, given that he has a very stony face that's harder than a whole boulder. But this is where he tried to go for a pin. He only got 2.8, unfortunately. Then this is where we got. This is where they try to go for a suplex onto the Proto Star, but this is where the Proto Star try to counter and try to intercept. But this is where Konosuke Takeshita then go for a suplex of his own, but this is where he hits him with a brain buster. This is where Konosuke Takeshita said, come on, referee, count. But this is where it looks like that it was either Tomohiro kicked out on time, or maybe like Powerhouse Hobbs stopped it before then. But either way, it's where we got Konosuke Takeshita trying to take care of the Powerhouse Hobbs problem, which he did, which he hit the move that my boy Simon Miller would like to describe it as the least most devastating move in professional wrestling. And that was the Blue Thunder Bomb. He tried to do it the first time. It didn't work the first time. And you know the rules on page 4003. If it doesn't work the first time, it's a guaranteed the second time. And this is where, when he hit his signature, this is where we got Kyle Fletcher was confident that he got Tomohiro Ishii on his own, and he's going to finish him off. Well, he had Tomohiro on his own, but like, don't let the advantage fool you, because like, even though he started hitting every single move in the playbook, like Tomohiro Ishii was not staying down for good. This is where then we got what's his name, Tommy Ishii, like, okay, like, I love this pain, like just do more of this, like, and this is where then he hit a flying head scissor, like once he hit him with the super kick, only for him to get hit with a tombstone pile driver, which had me screaming, he's not the Undertaker. And then this is where then we got Kyle Fletcher then hits the Proto Brainbuster maneuver right onto the for the pin for the 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, like, yeah, Kyle Fletcher, when he finally put him away. And And the two members of the Donald Cows family members celebrated a little bit because they won the match, but something just tells me that just makes me confident that he's probably not going to win at Dynasty tomorrow. And yes, sir, ma'am, he does have a match against what's his name, Mark Briscoe, and yeah, I'm gonna give you my predictions on who's gonna win, even though I'm gonna be so unsure, like if I'm gonna be like even making a review video, which I may not. Like that's the only thing I could say at this situation. Hmm. Maybe I could. I think I have an idea, but yeah, like. But I'm gonna talk about that and like as soon as I get done with this review video. But yeah, this is where we got Kyle Fletcher was talking mad smack about yeah he's gonna win, which they start showing all the matches that's gonna be on the card. This is where then we got this is where they showed like what happened this past Wednesday in the mixed tag match when John right after John Moxley like hit the paradigm shift onto Willow the Pillow right after they beat him and Marina Shafir. And so Swerve Strickland said say like I'm looking for your husband like now like with all due respect like I'm not trying to talk to you right now. Who could blame him for saying that, even though like we're gonna have a future history in down the road, but at the same time like and some of y'all probably say, "How do you know that, Mister Super Ninja Austin?" Like, well, like I can see future through these not through these masks. Like, and that's the secret why I get all my predictions, most of my predictions right. When I make some wrestling review videos because I can see the future of my desires into my life, and it shows that it's the future is very bright. But anyways. This is where we got this is where we got Swerve Strickland and got gone with Hangman Adam Page with him saying like you deserve every single bit of it, even your house burned down, like because you put me through hell. This is what Swerve Strickland like, yeah, I know. Like Simon would call him, he was the Han Solo of the segment until they showed him like getting beaten up by the Death Riders, unfortunately, but. Well, let's move on to the next slide. We're not going to talk much about that. Like that's too much on the negative side of the AEW pond. But anyways, let's talk about something that's more on the positive. But it's where we. But before we get that, this is where we got like some kind of a teaser of like it like of a future feud like between Action Andretti and Leo Rush and Nicholas Wayne. But it was all just a swervy ruse, like to make us believe that, but it's really something else. This is where it's like we this is where then he's like Nicholas, yo Nicholas, well, like we're still like keeping our eyes out for AR Fox because no matter where he goes, like I mean, no matter where we go, or no matter where Top Flight goes, like even when they're around us, it seems like they're soon to follow. Like if he's the sheep, like Mary's little lamb or something like that. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, and then this is where then we got Nicholas Wayne's like, well, what are you talking? Why are you ranting to me about this? Like I already told you this past Wednesday I don't have nothing to do with this. I understand why you're talking taking this out on me. And I was like, what happened to this past Wednesday about like him like talking about like this coming Wednesday that he was gonna reveal something like about why they attacked Cope like the week before that Wednesday in particular. But we're gonna probably get some answers probably before probably anytime after Dynasty, maybe even the Dynamite the post show. But that's gonna be for a different conversation for a different day. But this is where we got Leo Rush, anyways. Then as we could. Have you been thinking about this? Where he's like, this is where Nicholas Wayne's like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. Like, yeah, I've been thinking about all the factors of come into play, like, and about the possible outcome. And if I do decide to help you guys, and it is where it didn't actually like it, this way. But now, all honesty, though, like, I think I'm too valuable to help y'all. If I'm being completely honest, this is where the Nicholas Wayne is like, okay, that's the best of luck, boys. But I'm gonna have to. I hate to break it to you. Like, my answer is no. And that's where then Action Andretti started chuckling, started laughing, like, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, yeah, he needs daddy's permission. And I was like, yeah, like, pretty much, because, like he can't do anything without the permission of his own father. Like, well, in kayfabe and stuff, that's where the Nicholas Wayne did. I like, so what did you say about me? This where then Leo was like, he said, Daddy Cage got you right in the cage, and you need some permission, like, before you could come out and play. Like, which that does rhyme, so that must be true in some capacity. But yeah, this is where Nicholas Wayne did not like what they were saying about him. He's like, I don't need to play. Like, I have my own play. I do what I want. Like, when I want, how I would want to do it. I was like, yeah, well, maybe now, but from the last year, like, you've been always keep depending on your kayfabe stepfather to do to get things done for you, because you're too like scared to do it on your own for some reason. But that's where the Nicholas Wayne then continues like, if I do see Fox around, like, it's not gonna be for y'all. Like, it's gonna be for me. And then this is where then he gave a long stare of anger. This is where we got Max Caster came out, which I'll say, even though there's gonna be a squash match, but I'm gonna have to give it the bronze trophy. It just this continues to be so hilariously interesting. Like, even though it's supposed to be an open challenge for him to be like an unbeatable threat, but it's more of an opposite. Like, and maybe that's what AEW wants you to be entertained. I mean, at first it seemed like it's about this angle is about to be a failure, but I guess we were dead wrong, and this was AEW's original plan all along for us to see to get Caster over for his best wrestler alive open challenge, which it seems like who's gonna like we're gonna see like who got is instead of saying who can survive, like it's more likely who cannot survive at this point because like it's completely useless to use that term, like what Castor says. Like, and also, I'm gonna give his goofy personality the goofy wrestling. The second goofy wrestling of the night at the silver trophy. This is where it is like Peoria, like, hey, you're looking live at the best wrestler alive, which that barely rhymes. So I'll say that was lukewarm true. This is where the Maximilian Castor was like, I'm lucky to be alive right now because like I had to drive all the way here, like all by myself, like through a tornado and a gale force wind. Like there must be a severe weather, like in the Illinois in the north area of the country. Which I heard that they're very bad weather up in the north, but this is where Maximilian Katz was like yeah, and then this is where he's like yeah. He was like, and yeah, and he started mentioning about the tag team Houston team, which that was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to his former partner Anthony Bowens of the Acclaim. This was like, I'm not gonna mention them by name, and yeah, which that kind of sounded like a former wrestler that he wrestled back like 5 years ago when he was right before he became their TNT championship. That's now the world championship over at the competitions promotion. But this is where then Maximilian Caster then continue on the promo saying that but guys, like there's only one thing like that the people in P Town want exactly what to do, and that's the Max the Maniacs. And then this where it's like they want to chant my name, like, and it's easy to do, like follow along at home. And that's why then he starts and the one and the two and the one, two, three, and it's where like Max Million, you are a bastard. So let's go, Maximilian, that's the best. This is where then Donald Cass had the nerve to say it's very catchy, which I'll say, yeah, it's catchy like when you look at it in a comedic way, but nothing serious. Like if anything, it's probably like a zillion miles from seriousness of anywhere of that definition landmark. But this is where luckily he got interrupted by Mark Briscoe, like by claiming that he's the best wrestler alive by taking back his little platinum papers that's from the government, which I assume that they're full of the double L's, like lies and laziness. But anyways, this is where then we got the That's where then we got the match that started with what's his name? What Mark Briscoe started doing his redneck kung fu right onto the self-proclaimed best wrestler alive. He gets try Irish whip with Maximilian right into the left side, but this is where he gets counted, he gets thrown instead. But this is where Mark Briscoe hit a forearm shot, like boom, and this is where he knocks him down right into the ring. This is where Mark Briscoe like, come on everybody, get up and off your feet. This is where it is like, yeah, let's do this. This is where Mark Briscoe's like, yeah, come on, and this is where then he was waiting for Maximilian didn't get right up this way, trying to run up, but he gets kicked right. Oh, like my midsection. This where then he flips him right up. This where then he what's his name? Mark Briscoe tried going to the bottom corner rope, hits this cannonball suicida maneuver right onto what's his name, Maximilian. Then he started giving some high five waves because he is a fan favorite baby face. This is where then Mark Briscoe's like, it even did it to a boy that was in the far back, like into the second row of the audience as well, which he must be a massive Mark Briscoe fan. This is where he goes to the left corner side. But this is where Maximilian catch him. This is where he try to go for an uppercut. But this is where Mark Briscoe kicks him right in the gut. This is where then he try to go for the J Driller, which he ends up going easily. This is where then he try to go for a pin, which he got the 3, of course. And this is where all over his pants, like with Maximilian's pants that he was wearing, it looks similar to the Max, like the streaming service, given that like with the black colors, like the streaming services now, like it used to be for some, like it used to be in blue, like it's been blue for almost 2 years now since May of 2023. I remember like seeing like it said like it's gonna be turning into Max like back in that year, and even a fellow animated YouTuber even pointed that out, like which like they're dropping X in the HBO name and turn it from purple to blue and just call it Max, of course. But that's what it looks like when he was wearing his pants. But we all know this Max he's referring to himself as the best wrestler alive. And this is where he started bragging that he still is, like when he, even though he was down to the ground. What are your thoughts on this match? Do you think this was too much of a comedic showdown to earn the third place spot into the night? Let me know in the comment section right down below. I just thought I might say that because it just felt pretty accurate. But this is where we got a backstage interview, like with the Switchblade by what's her name, the actual remarkable Lexi Nair, or the what's the a complimentary word that starts with the letter L? I guess the luxurious Lexi Nair, I guess you could say. Yeah, the luxurious Lexi. This is where the Maximilian Caster's like yeah. This is where he's like, yeah, like this is where Lexi Nair was like due to your broken hand, thanks to the Death Riders, like you won't unfortunately we're not like you're not gonna be like you're not gonna be part of this Owen Hart Cup tournament. Like you're being replaced by Kevin Knight, and this is where he's like yeah, like I guess I spoke too soon when I said this year will not be Kevin Knight's year. Like and yeah. Like and he's like, Kevin, congratulations on your opportunity, because last week, I mean, like he said, this may not be his year, but it will be in the future. And yeah, like unfortunately, it seemed like it jinxed him, like by costing him an opportunity spot at the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I mean, even if he didn't like say that, like he probably would have gotten attacked and then genuinely would have been pulled from the tournament. But like, yeah, like just be careful to use your words wisely, or it just might come back to you by biting you in the tuchus. But anyways, this is where we got Mr. Switchblade that came up like you don't. And this was like no, with all due respect, Kevin, like the reason why you're there because I cannot compete there. You're filling my spot. Like in William Ospreay, like you avoid me once, you can come in and penalty this line like that. You on some unattainable level, like prancing around like untech, like you're just a self-proclaimed like you're a you're self-proclaimed dud in my ring. And this was like, I'm gonna catch you one day, but not this day. Like you can keep flapping your gum just a little bit more longer, thanks to like the none other than the Death Riders. And he's like, listen, Lexi, because I cannot compete in the when the 2025 Owen Hart Cup, and that's where I started being a little emotional, like in a very depressing way. I'm like, oh. And it's like, why? Like, why does the Death Riders want to ruin everything that we love about AEW? Like, how could you? Like, but anyways, that's where then Jay White then continues like And he's like, and it's not thanks. And he's like, and it's not gonna be thanks to the Death Rider. Like it's all thanks of the gentleman. And the Death Rider, they want to make this more personal to put it. Like they make it very lightly. Like, well, that'll be perfectly fine with me. Death Rider, you're not gonna be taking me out. You give me a gift that you give me the time, the plan, and prepare. Like, and when you see my face again and again, like, and Moxley and the Death Riders, like. You will definitely like you ever mess with the switchblade because Lexi, like I quite obviously reminded people of who the hell I am. Like, but I think it's time like to I remind myself to because I am the switchblade. And he's like and I am the cat above, and then he's like, I know, and then everybody don't got what I got. That's where he's storming right out of there because you can blame him because he's not gonna be into the no longer in this match, but this is where we got Top Flight and Action Andretti and Leo Rushton then immediately started going head to head with one another. With what's her name was still on the stage, Layla Gray, before she could even come down the ringside. And I'll say this ties with the Mark Briscoe versus what's it called? Mark Briscoe versus the Maximilian Platinum Caster match, which I'll say definitely getting the bronze trophy, if not the silver, well depending on that. But it's where. God, Layla Gray's like, oh, like this rivalry would never end. This is where that she was starting to act like the big sister over the siblings of this little rivalry between these four, like younger brothers. I guess you could say that's bringing a fight to each other. Like, and this is where, but this is where they end up like going face to face with the. This is where they end up going face to face with the. What's it called? The go face to face with their arch rivals. This is where they go for a sliding duck onto each other when they try to dodge. Excuse me for a moment. But anyways, assassinators. This is where we got they trapped Leo Rush and what's his name, Action Andretti into a corner in the middle of the ring. This is where they caught them. This is where they started hitting some strikes in their respective corners with Leo Rush like right to the upper left with Dante and Action Andretti with Darius, and then we got Action Andretti with Dante. Yeah, this is where they started hitting some right hands right into their respective opponents. With the fans start saying. Counting along with the Top Flight. And this is where we got Darius Martin throws Leo Rush out there. This is where we got Darius Martin with what's his name? Dante with action. This is where he's hitting the knife, his chops and punches. Sitting right in the corner. This is where they hit him with the double STO right onto the middle of the ring. This is where we got Darius Martin, Big Brother Martin, hitting some right hands to the face. This is where we got Darius go for a wrist lock. This is where he started bending the arm of action. This is where he tried to go for a right hand. Anyway, kick him right in the section. Anyway, he tagged it. Leo Rush only to get step up insecurity by Darius Martin. This is where he tried to go for a knife edge chop and an uppercut onto the man of the hour. This is where he tried Irish whip him from the right to the left. But this is where then he tried to go for a leap. He ends up getting what's that, atomic drop buster. This is where then he cuttered him right into the left corner ropes, right to the rope with a little support from Big Sister Layla when she was like, yeah, like send him right to the left side corner. Like, and this is where then we got Action Andretti came out of nowhere, hit a leg swiping kick, like boom, and that's where he goes for a leg dropping moonsault right onto what's the name, Darius Martin. This is where you're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is where we got Dante Martin hitting drop by drop kick onto Big for messing it with his big brother. But this is where Leo Rush comes in and hit a suicide dive onto Dante. Actually, yeah, it was Dante. But it's where he knocks him down to the ground. This is where we got everybody was in the ground. This is where we got the partial powerful force of all of pro wrestling came on when they brought them back in the ring with them tag teaming with Dante Martin, only for Dante to hit a middle drop kick onto like in the comeback onto Leo Rush. This is where then we got Dante Martin that was like, yeah, like I'm on fire now. This is where then we got Dante Martin picks up Leo Rush, start going for a sleeper hold, then try to go for a half dragon. But this is where he ends up getting raked in the eyes by Leo Rush. This is where then he slides into his corner in the bottom right, tags in Action Andretti. Then he try to grab on his leg with Action Andretti hit a swinging neck breaker. This is where then Then he looked right into the right corner side, which he ends up seeing Darius Martin in the super kick in the midsection go for a discus elbow. While we got some punches left, right, and center, and forearm strike right into the face by Leo Rush. Sends him right into the bottom ropes in the top corner side. This is where we got action and ready. Irish whips Dante Martin right into the bottom right side, ends up getting countered though. This is where the Leo Rush started trying to fight him and punch him, and this is where he tries to send him right to the corner, like to his own partner. But this is where Dante Martin was no fool. He Irish whips him, but at the same time, Leo Rush was not no fool, so he slid down. But even if he didn't, Action Andretti was also prepared for him to come his way. He leap dodges. This is where then we got. This is where then we got Dante Martin trying to go for splash, but this is where he ends up getting into by uh, Action Andretti. This is where he tried to go for. This is where Leo Rush tried to go for a move, but he ends up getting countered by Dante Martin. He gets sent right to the right corner side's apron, like laid belly first. This is where we got a springboard drop kick, but it ends up when he tried to go for a pin, he only got 2.6. This is where everybody that was involved in the match got into the ring, started just throwing fists right into each other in the 2-on-2 tag team wrestling tennis, I guess you could say, like if it's Wii Sports all over again. This is where we got Irish whip of both Andretti and what's his name, Leo Rush right into the right corner side. But this is where they were hanging on to the ropes. This is where then they try to tackle him, but it ends up getting drop kick. Well, Dante Martin then hits up. He flips over Leo Rush into a back body drop right into the outside. While Darius Martin hit the drop kick, hit a running attack maneuver, only to hit Falcon Arrow. This is where we got what's his name, Dante Martin grabs on to what's his name, Action Andretti to get the 1-2-3, which I was like, wow, like I would expect it to be Leo Rush and what's the Action Andretti were gonna get the win. Like nothing against the Martin brothers, just that it looks like that the team of Leo Rush and Action Andretti were getting pushed to the point that they will beat anybody, even if it was the Hurt Syndicate, as long as it's gonna lead them to some where they lead them into a direction that AEW wants them to be. I would assume that will be indeed the case. Like with them beating tag team after tag team, like with Dante Martin just being like in Exhibit A, like into their example. But it's where we got. But it's where we got what's his name. That's where we got a post-match beatdown with Leo Rush going for a flying clothesline. Like, boom! And then this is where we got this is where they start attacking this is where they start attacking until what's the name start coming and hitting boots after boots, because that proves the theory of what's his name of Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Like everywhere that the Martin brothers go, it seems like AR Fox is soon to fall. I mean, they have like a few histories with the guy, so yeah, of course he's gonna protect his best friend until Nicholas Wayne, a former friend of AR, then came in, hits that Wayne's World maneuver on him, becoming being an AEW version of that dirty little guy, a young man that claims to be an ex-con, but he's just faking it. But he kind of reminds me of Nicholas Wayne. Kind of reminds me of that guy. But what are your thoughts? And this is where then we got they showed on 0 Hour. It will indeed be Action Andretti and what's the name? Leo Rush and Nicholas Wayne, then start shaking hands with each other, and it seemed like they're a new trio alliance of some capacity, and then they're going to be facing the Martin brothers and AR Fox at AEW Dynasty. And who do you think is gonna? And who do you think is gonna be walking out as the victor? Which I'm gonna give you my prediction as soon as I'll say as soon as I get done with this review video. But moving on, we got this is where we got a face-to-face interview with Miss Lexi Nair, the luxurious, I guess you could say, Lexi Nair, and yeah, she interviewed with doing face-to-face with Jamie Hayter and the unbelievable childish little girl Billy Starks. This is where then Jamie Hayter is like really like Like I want to give you some little bit of family advice, Bill. Like you need to watch for Athena. What are you gonna do after her match, huh? Like you're trying to steal your moment. Like why are you up in your business like that? Which he has a good point, like because like one thing you should know about Athena, she's not be trusted. Why don't you go ask Aubrey when she even tried to do the right thing, trying to raise her hand because she was the winner? Because for some reason, like she wanted, like since she was not getting her way, right? For some weird reason, she attacked her. Which I'm not trying to dwell in negativity in the past, just saying like because my point is she's still a type of girl that can't be trusted. And Jamie Hayter made a good point about this. And for some reason, this naive little girl decided to not listen to her. And I was like, I guess the CE, I guess she's definitely right. She's definitely right about Billy. Like she's nothing but a naive little girl that's still like 9 years old or maybe barely 10. But anyways, that's where then she was like, yeah, like just keep an eye on her. Just say, like, not trying to tell you, like when you think for 1 second, like that I'm gonna doubt myself on this tournament, like well, I already beaten you then, and and this was like even though I will be willing to change my mind, and then this is where then Billy Starks then came, got a microphone. Like I'm not a failure, and I've been trying to prove that to everybody. Well, I was like, it seemed like that's not really quite that you're trying to be. That's not quite looking like it. Like not trying to sound arrogantly critical, like but like you're trying, but it seems like it's going down the drain. Basically, the safe way to put it. Like, why'd you go? Like, why won't you ask yourself like what happened to your last title match in AEW? I'll say your only AEW title match for the TBS title, which you fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line, which kind of sounds like that guy that never misses his shots. That's from Massachusetts as well. But anyway, that's where we got Billy Starks to continue. Like you're gonna be seeing that on the Owen Hart that you claim that Jamie Hayes like, yeah, that's what I will. That's the one thing I will see. Like it's motivation and dedication, but yet like when it comes to crossing paths with me, like it's just that's not gonna happen. And who do you think is gonna win this Owen Hart Cup tournament? But hopefully it won't be Billy. But let me know down in the comment section right down below. But not only Billy, but also Athena. Hopefully she gets screwed out. But hopefully that the speculations are true about that, like into the angle between her and the CEO. But anyways, here's where we got but moving on to the next slide is where we got what other match? What was the name? On the couch too. Oh no, it was a face-to-face sit-down of an interview, I guess you could say, with the unmarkable Renee Paquette, with her having a little face-to-face like sit-down interview between uh, Danny and Adam, like before their match against each other at AEW. What's it called? Like at AEW Dynasty, yeah, in their unlimited match, like time limited match, I should say, for the TNT Championship. This is where Adam Cole. He's like, you never beat me for my TNT championship at Dynasty. I beaten you, and I beaten you before. Like on top of that, you never beat me before in Model Man. But the last time, as a matter of fact, we have like if I have at least 5 seconds to hit that boom shot right onto the back of your head, and like just 5 seconds, I would be the TNT champion. This will be a different discussion. And on top of that, like at this Sunday, it's my 17th year wrestling anniversary, which I'll say that's true. I can. And this is where it's like, and I made my wrestling debut at the exact same place that I'm gonna be celebrating my anniversary in Philadelphia. And I'm like, too bad I wasn't at the best city of the United States. But like I gotta admit, like this is a very perfect anniversary as an Adam Cole fan. Like I would say, yeah, like I want to give him happy congrats on the 17th year of being a pro wrestler, with which which probably I would say like which I would say that Adam, like, which I would say I've been watching Adam Cole probably for like the past 7, 8 years, like probably 10 years after he made his debut when he was over at the other company, winning a championship, becoming a Triple Crown. Like, even though he haven't won their main shows championships, but he was like if he was a star, like if he already was on there, even though he was known as not a star, but he did wrestle in 2 of their shows against like a wrestler that's now in AEW too, and one that's about to be in a big high profiling main event triple threat match. But anyways, this is where we got Adam Cole to continue like no like and I had my very first match, and it's been a very long time for Adam Cole to win championship gold here in AEW. And he's like, I promise you, like that dynasty, it is destiny to win that championship. And then this is where then Daniel Garcia then was like, oh, you like you really think so? Like, you know what I think? Like, I think Matt is right. My kayfabe stepdad is right. He was like, I didn't have to give you another shot at this if you're gonna be demanding it in that way. Like, but at the same time, I want to do out of respect, honor and respect for you being an inspiration of being in this business for 17 long straight years, like and still making it like is a in this as this as this professional, like in this profession, this was like, and then listen, like I gave you more chances and more opportunities than more I should have given you. Like but like I'm gonna this is gonna be another statement to be proved. Like by the time I tell it right now, this is gonna be the final chance that you're gonna face Daniel Garcia, especially his TNT champ. And he's and after this, like if you don't be successful, like this time, then you're not gonna ask for another shot ever again. Like you're not gonna ask, can I get another shot at Dynamite? Can I have another shot at Collision? Like no, that's all gonna be said and done. It's gonna be a done deal. Like okay, Adam. Like okay, like because that's been 17 years of chances. Like it's 17 years of opportunity in the past 17 years like to get in this business. It took me like less than 17 months in order to be champion while I've been on my own or something like that. Yeah. And this is where Adam Cole then and this is where then what's the name? They say like, okay, Kyle and Roddy, like, can I speak to Danny alone? This is where this is where Rod Strong's like, I understand, like you go. This is where then Renee then said, "This is my cue." I was like, "Yeah, that's one thing that she got right tonight," and yeah, that rhymes, so that's absolutely true. And this is where then he and this is where then we got Daniel Garcia like, okay, you know that means you too, Matt. Yeah, like if I may, this is where Matt Menard did the same. This is where they were facing. This is where Adam like, Danny, listen to me, hear me out. Like, and I know I feel this way, but I got a load of respect for you. Like I said before, and I said it again, I have all the respect in the world. Like sometimes, like I have to tell you the truth, however. And Danny, the truth is, like, you're not ready to lead the charge of this TNT division. Like you're not ready to be a leader in pro wrestling. Heck, you're not even ready to own a promotion in professional wrestling. And this is where he's like, and you cannot like you can hold champion. I run practically every promotion that I ever worked for. And that was true. Like even that company that's their competition. I was like, if he was on their main show, he would probably have another company that'll be like that company could that could be another that could be another show like that he won championship gold at. But unfortunately, like that didn't happen due to like some creative differences. But anyways, this is where we got Adam Cole. Like I broken records in more places than I can count, which that's true. I can vouch for him on a couple of those records. This was like if he's like, so if anybody knows what it takes to be the true champion, like it's not other than me, Danny. And he's like, Danny, you're not ready. And I was like, I may agree and disagree, which I can say I can disagree with him by saying he, he's not ready, but at the same time I agree on he can give him some other advice by saying like as like a longest reigning champion in that brand in that company's history books, and also being like and in running every company as a main eventer in every wrestling promotion that he ever worked for. Like yeah, like he was leading the charge basically. I can agree on that. Like especially for me being an Adam Cole fan for probably almost 10 years now. But it's weird that Adam Cole like, and it was like, and I'm gonna have to prove that if you're not gonna listen to me, Danny. Like, well, I whoop that ass tomorrow night, like in less than 25. This is where Daniel Garcia knocked onto the wood of the table. This is where he's like, like basically just saying, "Try me." This is where he walked right out, but he totally forgot until like 5 seconds later, right as soon as Adam Cole starts staring at you, before he can even say you forgot a championship, he grabbed it right out of the table. This is where we got the silver trophy of the night. Didn't get tied because here comes the next match, which probably deserves that spot with the tag team match between Powerhouse Hobbs and what's his name? Tomohiro Ishii against Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. And this is where then we got This is where we got the former AEW Tag Team Champion came. They came out one after taking on the 1/3 of the Trios champions. It was Uncle Cash the Flash taking on the or sorry, let me before I say his nickname, I want to say he is the Death Rider's the bastard, and that is Pac. He comes out. That's where it seemed like they do not carry championships around because like with John Cena, I mean John Moxley, Dictator John, I should say, like what Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman would say. This is where it start grappling around, like back and forth. This is where then we got one spot we got Cash the Flash then sent Pac right into the right corner side. This is where then the referee's like, all right, he's on the ropes, 1, 2, 3. This is where he like go, but he ends up getting pushed like right after he like go at 3.5. This is where he's like, all right, you can trust me. And then this is where he's like I'm not gonna do nothing to it. And this is where Uncle Cash the Flash did the right thing, not trusting him because after all, he's a Death Rider member, and whatever the Death Riders do, it's untrustworthy, and they're trying to control their minds with that toxic, disgusting water from Cincinnati. But this is where we got. But this is where we start going for the grapple, like going to the upper right corner side. This is where then he got him right to that turnbuckle spot. This is where then the referee's like, all right, now Cash the Flash is on the rope, so you gotta let go. This is where he had no choice but to do so. He recollected though when Cash the Flash exit the ropes, hit the arm drag or that headlock slam. No, but if he sees big AMC. But this is where then we got what's his name? This is where we got Cash Wheeler then picks up Pac when he try to go for a head continuous headlock. This is where he eyes whip him to the bottom corner slide. But this is where he gets shoulder tackled by the bastard. And this is where then he then slams him right to the ground. Hopefully that'll be the last time I will say his nickname because it sounds inappropriate to keep talking about is a nickname. This is where then we got Pac then start going around with the headlock onto with Cash Wheeler on his head. I mean on his arms, I should say. His head on his around it. This is where we got Cash the Flash, and then dips him right to the left side to the right side, but he ends up getting shoulder tackled by Pac. This is where the second one. This is where then he's like, I'm not done yet. So I was like, please be done soon. And this is where then we got Pac to go to the right corner. This is where we got to go for a handstand into a flip when he see a slide from Uncle Cash the Flash. This is where then we got, what's his name, going for an arm drag. This is where we got this is where we got Pac then going for a headlock slam. Then but he gets picked up by what's his name? Cash Wheeler. This is where we got what's his name? Then we go for an armbar slam, like slamming him right in his arm. This is where we got Pac then hits him face first right onto the turnbuckle. This is where he keep hitting him by turnbuckle after turnbuckle after turnbuckle. This is where we got what's his name? I keep doing it in the upper right and then to the opposite side in the bottom right. This is where the fans are boom like, please stop. It's starting to get very annoying now. Like just like the Death Riders are genuinely being like in AEW. But yeah, this is where then we got Pac and start doing the complete opposite because that's the secret to success and to the delusional minds of the Death Riders. This is where then we got. This is where then he tried to dip Cash right into the bottom left side, diagonal from where they were at. But this is where they end up getting. This is where he ends up getting countered by Cash. This is where he ends up throwing him instead. This is where he trying to put his foot onto the turnbuckle. This is where he ends up trying to go for an elbow. But this is where Cash the Flash dodges out of it. Try to go for what's they called him? What's that called a little backslide, but this is where he gets thrown right to the right corner side as soon as Pac kicks out. This is where Pac ends up getting when they got shoulder tackle. This is where he gets shoulder tackle yet again. This is where then he try to run to the right corner side. Only gets slide duck and leapfrog by Pac. Try to go for a hip toss, but this is where we got Uncle Cash the Flash countered, hit a hip toss of his own, then hit a drop kick to follow that up with. Then this is where we got what's his name? Pac then went right to the right corner side, throwing a little tantrum by slamming and smacking his hand right onto the on the announce table. This is where Pac was like, all right, I'm coming, ref. Like, don't rush me, which you should be rushed because there's only a 20-minute time limit. This is where he tried to go. This is where he got to go for a hip toss onto Pac, but this is where Cash Wheeler countered, try to go with. But this is where he ends up getting thrown right to the right corner side, only for Pac to feel a clothesline from Uncle Cash the Flash, but Pac didn't try to stop him from hitting a diving hit, but being probably like the fourth ever wrestler to do so. But this is where then we got the Death Rider member try to go for an Avalanche Frankensteiner. I believe that's what he was doing. Or no, it was an Avalanche suplex that he was trying to plan on doing. But Cash then ends up countering out of him. This is where then he started hitting some right hands until he finally got off. Then we got a Cash the Flash, then finally close on him right off by stepping back into the right corner apron, got back on the top rope, then tried to do what he was trying to do the first time, which it wasn't guaranteed, by the way. This is where, oh no, what? I must have got confused with something else because I believe it was a double curse situation because Plaque intercepted by hitting a sliding clothesline, which he tripped over and hit the Wheeler family jewels. This is where he ends up getting clotheslined by Pac. This is where he knocks right into the cameraman. It's falling right down like boom, and then they're down right into the ground, like into the right corner of the ringside area. Then Pac's like, oh, like, are you having fun now? And this is where he started saying it in a mockery voice. And this is where we got then Cash Wheeler trying to grab onto the leg of Pac, only for him to hit a springboard moonsault, which he landed directly right on the Cash the Flash. And then Pac is like, like you will feel you're gonna feel you're gonna feel the consequences. Cast the Flash when he hit the springboard moonsault, but I was like, I highly doubt that, and I think let's just say yeah, that ends up being the case, but. But yeah, that's where as soon as the partial powerful force the second time of this match came on, this is where he got him in a headlock, only for Cash the Flash somehow got out of it, but only for him to get back out of the offense position with him getting kicked back suplex by what's his name? Pac, was it? Was it? Yeah, Pac. This is where then Pac tried to go for a splat. This is where then we got Cash Wheeler flips on over Pac. This is where he goes for the left corner, right onto the apron. This is where we got Cash the Flash hit a suicide dive right onto Pac, right into the left corner side. Is where then he's who's on top now? Like with him, I probably said with with him saying it without a microphone. This is where then he gave a shouting, cheerful, what's it called? Like reaction with the fans. This is where we got what's his name? Pac that ends up getting thrown back into the ring. This is where my boy Uncle Cash the Flash then finally hits the third time as a charm. It's actually a crossbody he hit, and yeah, and I totally forgot he had a suicide dive, which that was because that was all right because it was 2025. Yeah. Because it's 2025, let me rephrase that. Yeah, just like my boy Simon Miller would say, this is where we got. And he even showed a video about him doing the dive. By the way, I might let you guys know. But this is where then we got what's his name? Pac tried to go for a clothesline onto Wheeler, but this is where he does go for a clothesline. In the process, Uncle Cash the Flash was continuing to stay in the lead. This is where then we got. That's where then he started hitting some knife edge chops right onto the 1/3 of the trios champion is over him punches chops, which I believe he was third place with his brother Uncle Dax the Axe. But this is where they started some forearm strikes, dipped them from the upper right corner side to the bottom left diagonally. This is where then we got Cash the Flash go for a leaping dodge, going for through the ropes. This is where Pac didn't go for a slide. This is where he tried to go for a leap, but this is where he hits a flipping spine buster maneuver. Boom! Just knocking him down right into the middle of the ring. Try to go for a pin, but only get to deny at 2 point. What was it? 3? Yeah. This is where we got Cash the Flash to try his luck of going on the top rope and get the third time in the charm, which I believe he found what was it? What was the 4-leaf clover, the 3rd-leaf clover charm? Or no, I could be wrong because this was a triple curse. I forgot. Yeah, this is where the third time it did not work. With him having trouble hitting the diving headbutt. But this is where we got Pac. Is okay, now's my chance to hit the black arrow because he went immediately right up on that exact same corner in the upper right and try to hit the maneuver, but only for him to get intercepted by by the former AEW Tag Team Champion. This is where Cash the Flash immediately got back up, hits an avalanche suplex, flipping him over with like a single underhook rather than a normal one. This is where we got what's his name? Yeah, thank you very much about that, by the way. But this is where we try to go for. This is where Cash the Flash try to go for a pin, only for Pac to kick out of it at 2 point. What was it? 4. This is where we got Uncle Cash the Flash then ends up putting over Pac onto his shoulders to hit some kind of a fireman's carry maneuver, but we did not know what exactly it was because Pac flipped right out of it, hit a roundhouse kick right in the midsection, and a forward one right into the gut, like to fall up, and the back one again. And where Pac did go for a pump kick, then he hit the German suplex. Then we got Pac that hits the then got back up. This is where the Pac was.
Doing where his baby's bottle. When was the
last
time we had a bottle?
It was like probably like 9:30, and I made him a bottle. Yeah, it's in the refrigerator.
Oh, he made a bottle. It's in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Just in case the bottle was about 9:30.
Yeah.
About 3 hours ago.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I cleaned it along with the dishes. Yeah. It was like a good hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perfect though. But anyways, assassinators, this is where we got both men were down, and this is where the Cash the Flash was immediately trying to get himself back up because he had that underhook suplex maneuver right into the ground. Then this is where we got Cash the Flash, okay, come on, let's do this, come on. This is where then he waited for him to get up to the bottom left side, try to go for his, ends up getting super kicked right into the face that might have seemed like plenty of saliva shooting out of his face. This is where then Pac then try to hit him with the guaranteed the Black Arrow, and unfortunately, I hate to admit, he did the move, and it was pretty impressive. It was like back in the day when I ever started watching him 10 years ago. Oh, no, I could be wrong. No, he was double cursed, actually. Okay, I'm my recapping accuracy is starting to mess up. But anyways, this is where we got Cash the Flash, fortunately, then hits a pile driver right onto Pac. This is where then he drops him onto the ground. Try to go for a pin. This is where the referee counted 1, referee counted 2. He almost got 3, but this is where Pac got the shoulder up before he can even hit the 3 count. And this is where then even Donald Cowles admit that was so damn close. This is where then we got what's his name? This is where Claudio Castagnoli tried to send a screwdriver in the ring, but this is where luckily Cope has hope, which everybody had hope for him to come out, which he ends up coming in, started beating the hell out of Claudio Castagnoli. But this is where Willa Yuta tried to come in, try to attack Uncle Cash the Flash with the screwdriver, only for Uncle Dax the Axe then sacrificed himself to save the day. This is where it helped out a lot when he hit him with the. When he hit him with a pile driver, this, maybe he should have sacrificed, maybe he should have tackled him outside the ring. Maybe this would have helped out his brother. But this is where we got Pac that comes in, hit with that backslide to hit the 1, get the 1, 2, 3, and maybe this has my scenario maybe into the opposite because they were the ones that had the momentum going into AEW Dynasty, and you know the rules in professional wrestling about that as well. I forget the page of that, but what on the playbook of professional wrestling. But I know that if somebody has more of the momentum and was the one on top, right before the pay-per-view on the go-home show, then normally this shows that's a sign that they're going to be losing at the pay-per-view. So we're gonna have to do a little debate on who's going to win the trios championship match. But that's kind of a good question, which hopefully I don't be wrong when I pick this prediction, but we're gonna I'm gonna get into that in just a moment. But let's this is where we got FTR and Cope, or should I say, rated FTR. Then went face to face with each other. This is where they this is where they apologized to Uncle Cash and Flash, but he said don't sweat it, it's all good. They did a group hug because they're like brothers. This is where then they just make up and it's it's all good. This is where then they just moved on from this. This is where then we got that's where they end up leaving the ring as soon as the FTR's music start playing. This is where they were getting ready for their tag match, and I was hopefully this is a sign that they will be the trios champions. But let me know in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got a vignette with Kenny Omega, ever since he won the AEW International Championship back on AEW Revolution, he set a tournament like see who's going to be the next challenger for his international championship at Dynasty. But unfortunately, like it was not exactly how the way he expected, but it was probably more of a double challenge, maybe in an interesting way with both Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricky the Dicky Ricochet like are going to be both number 10 because they both pinned the Beast Mortals. Well, no, it was Mark Davis of the Donald Callis family, which Donald Callis then said like I think that they both cheated, which I thought that was gonna be his new gimmick, but I guess I stood out them wrongly. But this is where we got but this is where then we got a vignette like what like from the last couple weeks about when Ricky the Dicky was at his little vacation home, like where he got married at, and I totally forgot to tell you, Assassinator, that he recently got married. That's why I couldn't make it on that episode of Dynamite a couple weeks ago, which I would give him and yeah his ring announcing wife. Well, I'm not sure if she would like the nickname I gave her, maybe more like the future the singer wife, I guess you could say, future singing wife, I guess you could say. I'll give him all the congratulations in the world and wish him many more years of happiness and I'll say like and wish all the blessings like probably 10 million fold, I guess you could say, out of characterness, but in all seriousness. But anyways, this is where we got Ricky the Dicky that came out like because he was I want to sit out with the commentary because he heard that Mr. Speedball Mike Bailey's gonna be in action against who was it? It was I'm trying to think. It was in the tip of my tongue. Like, who was it? It was that he's gonna be fighting up against. But before I figured out, this is where like it's where they start hyping up Dynasty, like even with timeless Tony Storm being ready for what's her name, Megan Bay, along with Shane Taylor Promotions, then send anybody a message backstage in AEW to challenge them in a 6-man tag match. Well, him and the infantry, this is where then we got this is where the what's the name? And also Shane Taylor also let everybody know that one thing he's sick of. He's like he asking them like like I'm sick of people letting them walking around here. Like I'm sick of walking around here like too comfortable. Like I am very and most I'm sick of like like. I'm getting sick of people talking about battlefields and warfare. Like you like and talk about there are gangsters. Like when but then I even built like that in any shape or form. And this is where then he pointed out that and this where then we got what's his name that prove his point. What was his name is Carly Bravo, I believe. Was yeah or yeah Carly Bravo was it? Yeah, this is where like they're talking about battlefield war zones. Like you're talking back to like you're talking about big homies. Like we're not your it is like he's like, yeah, we're not your little homies. Like we don't respect big homies like y'all. Like right? Like that's why we got the promos we got. Like we got the FP, and they're talking about us STP chill. Like but chill about what when we already chilling out. Like it is like and look at the Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and what's his name, Hook for an example. They're not ops. They're just looking for like they're just three of the most weakest opportunities that you could ever find. And this word is like it's like and that's us that's facing those opportunities. You like we slide on you ops like all the time. Like and we show that we are them. Like we don't tell them to run it high. And this where the Carly Bravo's like yeah tell them Sean like what we here for. Like yeah we are we here like to prove our points of making examples of guys like that. And I think that they announced that it will be a match like between the Ops and the Shane Taylor promotion next week on Collision. Who do you think that's going to be walking out is the victor on the next week's edition of the Saturday Night Show of AEWs? Let me know down in the comment section right down below. But this is where we got Speedball Mike Bailey came out. This is where he took on what was it? It was Julistico. That's what it was the brother of Roosh and that guy that's also known as a Latino a Latino faction that's taking over the world, or wherever basically what the faction's all about, with all the Latino and luchador wrestlers, especially one in particular that's a legend that everybody that looked up to while watching as a kid, especially your boy SNA, which I'll probably think that's the reason why I got the mask for. But yeah, but this was that guy's brother that that the member of one of those guys of the brother that's wrestling tonight here against Speedball Mike Bailey, which he was prepared to take on to this very talented luchador. This is where they show what he got and what he's been wrestling in his time in Japan and other promotions that whether they're in America or other countries. This is where then he goes right to the top corner ropes. This is where we got a cartwheel and the backflip right when we saw Jalistico was doing the slide duck. Then he goes for the right bottom course side when he got dodged by Mr. Bailey. Like, and I'm not talking about the girlfriend of the very famous tight end from San Francisco. But that's where then we got but this is where we got what's her name Jalistica go for leapfrog and the flip over. This is where it goes for a sliding Hurricane Rana. Sent Mike Bailey right into the right corner slide. Then this is where we got This is where we got Speedball Mike Bailey, then ends in the sliding Hurricane Rana right into the right corner side. Then go for a kip up. Then he tried to look like he was playing either Mortal Kombat or Street Fighters because he started doing some moves that's like combat style. But this is where he started to like boom, 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 boom. And he was like, yeah, like, I know all kinds of combat style moves. That's the reason why he can hit those maneuvers. This is where we got them start going for doing the bows, like if they're in NJPW, which is a partner company that AEW is working with. This is where we got Jalistico to try to offer a handshake, only for him to get leg caught. This is where he got spin around until he got hit with a knife edge chop, like if Jalistico is like his own version of that ring general guy. But he one thing he did though, however, is ticked off that same guy. That's going to put him in the number 5 category into his list. That's where he dips him right to the left side, to the right side. He goes right there, but he ends up getting leg sliding kick by the Speedball Master. This is where then he's like, yeah, I didn't even break a sweat. And this is where then he started turning to both Sonic and Goku. That's the reason why he probably called himself the Speedball, which it's probably the speed like Sonic, but the ball's like the Dragon Ball, like the Dragon Ball that you collect, like all 6 of them, to be granted 3 wishes by the Dragon Shimron. But that's the only thing he probably doesn't need is wishes, which he don't have that or a dragon to do so. But anyway, this is where he gets sent right into the corner by Jalistico, right into the upper right corner side. This is where he's like, I got my hands up, don't shoot, like metaphorically, but with this child, but he ends up doing so, which he got down up a grade up at number 4, which I was like, you better watch out, or else like that ring general guy won't show any mercy. But this is where then we got they send the Speedball right to the right corner, to the left corner. This is where we go for a springboard flip. They hit a flipping, like what they call it, enziguri. But this is where he started getting leg swipe kicks, like strikes. Like this is where he gets enziguri, like right to the left side. This is where Speedball Mike Bailey's like, okay, now that he's out in the corner, like now it's time for me to hit my dive onto him. And that's exactly what he don't know. No, I must be thinking of another time. This is where then he went, like, tried to do this the old-fashioned way, go on the outside, but he go in the corner, like he's a certain viper that was slithering into the garden. But this is where then we got Beast Mortal's step right in front of him. So, like, if you want to go into my best friend Jalistico, you're going to have to go to me first. Like, and this is where then we got, I believe, what's his name was trying to do a bribery, like me, because he must have watched the latest episode. Not the latest, not the latest. He must have watched that episode of Dragon Ball Z at the time. I'm not sure if it was the original back in the late 80s, early 90s version, or the one from like 10 years ago in the early mid 2000 teens, like the Kai version, like which it was more like mature, like when he got in full details of bribing the Supreme Kai. Or the Elder Kai, I meant to say, when he was like offering the bribery of getting a date with Harley Graham, like which I'm not sure if Harley Graham's man friend, like whoever that might be, which I heard he's a wrestler, like wouldn't even probably did not like something like that. But anyways, this is where we got Jalistico, then ends up throwing Speedball Mike Bailey right to the right corner slot. Right before he can bribe him for a date with Harley Graham. This is where he gets hit face first right into the top onto the top Allen the announce table, and he gets a fling flip and hit a super kick right to the face. This is where then we got Ricky the Dicky start clapping like, yeah, like keep on doing that, Jaliste. Like, yeah, at this rate, like you'll only be me and Kenny. And then this is where then we got the partial powerful force, and all the professional wrestling came on, and that was the the picture-in-picture commercial break. But once they got done with the partial adverts, which turned into transitioned into a full advert, this is where then we got Speedball was uh was on control until until he got distracted by Beast Mortals that was trying to ask what's a Harley Grant's number if he knows it, but he was like, how do I know? Like, I don't know her in that way. Like we're not even friends. Like we just fortunately happen to work in the same place. But this is where this was the perfect distraction for so Mr. Jalistico hit a dive onto him. This is where then we got This is where they got Jalistico to go for a springboard maneuver into a face breaker, which I don't know how these luchadors do these maneuver. Like I couldn't even, I could barely could do probably a spinning corkscrew springboard maneuver if I was in the ring. But this is where then we got now Jalistico then ends up going for what they call go for a double underhook maneuver like a tiger bomb, only for him to get countered into a hurricane flip into a pin, like with Speedball Mike Bailey's arms curled right around the legs of the Jalistico, with him try to go for a sunset flip. This is where Speedball Mike Bailey go for a leg swipe, but this is where we got Jalistico try to go for a pin, only for him to get denied with a kick out. This is where he try to go for a clothesline by the Speedball. This is where Speedball try to go for a clothesline, but Jalistico next go to the corner, the bottom corner, ends up getting hit with a roundhouse kick. Then this is where we got Speedball Mike Bailey to try to go for a spinning kick, and then turn to a roundhouse one. This is where I believe this was his finisher to get the 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, Speedball Mike Bailey. And the good thing about him hitting this maneuver is that he don't have to worry about look like he's copying off the guy that used to work here, but now he's on his way back to the company he originally wrestled for. Which he don't have to worry about getting cease and desist papers. But the one thing that we saw, the one wrestler we saw that was not happy about this match was the other the man that calls himself that's been known as the Dickie, and he proved that tonight, right after the match, before we can even see Speedball Mike Bailey leave the building safely. This is where then he kicks him directly in the Speedball Mike family Bailey Speedball jewels, I guess you could say, when it started racing than it ever been before. Not because it was in a very speedy move, if it's a very speedy mood, if he's Sonic the Hedgehog. He just got kicked right from behind, but he kicked him if he was in front of him, but he did right behind him. But that was probably the weakest, his weakness and his biggest fear of that, because the Dickie is he's pretty much what he just did to Speedball Mike Bailey. He followed that up with a flying clothesline. Boom! And that's where he knocks him down while putting it on his Minion's hat back on. Which he probably looks worse than a Minion. He looks like a villain from the Minions movie franchise. If you ask me, if what he looks like in the what Despicable Me character he looks like. He looks like one of the villains, which I'm not sure who to point out, but he just looks like if he's a villain, especially with him looking all jokester and whatnot. But yeah, anyways. But this is where we got Thunder Rosa and did the absolute right thing for Mr. Super Ninja Austin and get some justice for him for getting powerbomb right to that autograph table and fight forever, which he didn't did it for exactly for your boy SNA. Well, even though that she's friends with his homie Simon Miller. But anyways, but yeah, this is where she, I guess you say she gave a tease of that. This is where Thunder Rosa. This is where then both her and Kristen said we've been waiting for a long time, and this is for them to fight. But unfortunately, the circumstances are not quite where I wanted to be, girl. I'm not gonna apologize right now because Kristen, a lot of people are gonna depend on me. My family company, my future in this company is gonna depend on me on where I go. In order if I go to All In, so I hate to break to you, there's nothing personal, which it should be because because the old saying goes, there's gonna be some repercussions, if you mess with Super Ninja Austin. Well, I don't think nobody ever said that before. Well, at least not yet. But they will, like as soon as they get to see like SNA to be well known. But anyways, this is where then we got Thunder was like I'm gonna take this away. This is where she tried to break it. She's like, but it's nothing personal. Like except for my apology. Like in Thunder was because Owen's gonna be coming home with me, which I believe Martha did not like it when she started bragging about her husband or widow like that because or her late husband. I meant to say. Well, widow means that's the spouse of the live the alive spouse of the deceased husband or wife. I should say, yeah, that's what I meant to say. I bet, yeah, Owen's widow, yeah, Martha did not like how Kristen started bragging about her late husband in that caliber. Who could blame Martha for that? But this is where then we got Thunder Rosa. Then so like don't talk about my father. Like don't spend. This is where then he started saying like first of all don't speak about my father, which I believe Kristen's starting to turn into Christian Cage, which hopefully that you don't speak about SNA's father like that. Which I don't know why I got too deep onto that, like personal feelings like that on my own podcast. But perish the thought. But this is where we got Thunder Rosa was like yeah, you don't like you're not gonna speak the D to the women's world champion. This where the Kristen Statlander did start stirring up some controversy and some trouble and some what's it called? Add fuel to the fire into this heated passive aggressive like exchange words on one another. That's where she's like, oh, the title that you had to give up. I was like, yeah, this seems why like there's nothing right about Kristen. Like after all, she powerbombed your boy SNA right through a table for no reason just because she was a sore loser because I beat her in that intergender match at AEW Fight Forever. But it's where we got Thunder Rosa like. And this is where this and this is where it's like I'm talking about my stop talking about my past. Like first of all, stop talking about my past in a negative manner. And second of all, like like it don't matter what. This is where they start shoving each other until Kristen tried to choke her. But this is where Thunder Rosa did pip slapped her right across her face. This is where she was like, "I'll see you at round one." Hopefully that Thunder Rosa do so and even add some more leverage by power bombing her right through the table, which that'll make me a happy assassin if she does that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this match? Let me know in the comments down below. But this is where they start showing like the other matches on AEW, AEW's Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament, like with one of them in particular, which is none other than tomorrow's match between the CEO Mercedes Moné taking on Julia Hart, and not to mention Will Ospreay on the men's side, like along with the other men's match with Mark Briscoe against what's his name? Mark Briscoe against Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay against what's his name? Kevin Knight. Yeah, that's what his name is. The latest edition of AEW. But yeah, this is where it starts showing other matches, like once again. But this is where they start hyping things up about the main event match, which I believe Anthony Khan made the greatest decision in his career, and that is the dream team of the CEO Mercedes Moné and the RAF creator Harley Cameron being the team, and they remain. And the best part of this, they're gonna main event the show against that hypocritical Athena and our partner Julia Hart. But anyways, yeah, this is where then we got they were getting ready by training. This is where then we got the CEO reminding Harley that as long as she stay out of her way, she won't worry about her being in her way. But this is where she also was telling her, and that's where she was trying to give her some tips about how you stretch, which maybe you should take some advice from the CEO. But yeah, this is where then we got. This is where they start doing this, which that gave me some days when I start training at the gym, like start working out a bit, like on how, like what kind of training routines that I need to be doing, like by counting to 20, how to stretch, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But yeah. But yeah, this is where we got the match, and this is where she even told her not to bring the mini Monet puppet out when she started talking to it, like which which we all know the puppet cannot talk without Harley being around, because she made the weird analogy when she put her hand up right into the, well, I cannot say the rest. It kind of makes me cringe every time I think about it. But this is where we got But I gotta admit, this was a very hilarious segment, which is not only gonna get the golden trophy of Goofy Wrestling of the Night, it's getting the platinum trophy of the night. I'm sorry, like some of y'all probably gonna say, yeah, that's because you're just letting your personal opinions like get into this getting to get the better of your professional opinions about AEW. But yeah, like I know before y'all start criticizing me on that, but I was one thought I might point out because yeah, they're just pretty much the definition of the bring the E in entertainment. Even though that's not what the E in AEW stands for, but I'm just gonna be saying that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say like it does bring that entertaining nostalgia into the into in onto AEW show tonight. But yeah, let's get to the point. Let's get to the final match of the night, which, yeah, not only the Goofy Wrestling's going to get the best. That's what they showed last year when the CEO, when the last time she went face to face with Julia Hart, she held out the pillow when she was attacking her when Julia Hart was the women's TBS champion. And guess where they were at? Like when when the CEO helped out the pillow. It was the same night like when she made her debut in AEW in her hometown of Boston for big business. But anyways, yeah, this is where we see them again. This is where the that's where they go face to face. But this time, like, it was in a tag team match before just 24 hours away from them fighting each other at AEW Dynasty. And I don't understand why some people claim that AEW did not do no good storytelling. Well, like, if this doesn't show, like, that they're paying attention what happens from AEW for, like, even, like, 360 days ago, like, 365 days ago, I should say, or over that, I should say, if not already, like, 400 days, I should say, yeah, because given that like March already came here, like yeah, like about just 30 days ago, but this is where we got, but this is where we, but this is where then we got like we got Harley Cameron and the CEO hilariously like got was trying to what's it called, trying to debate on who should start off with Athena, which at first the CEO was thinking about going first, but this is where she saw Athena. She was like, yeah, like I'm gonna let you get her first, which that was very generous of her. This is where the rap creator tried to make Athena feel the rap. I was like, yeah, make her feel that rap, that hypocrite. Like this is where then this is where then we got. But Athena tried to go for a German suplex. Luckily, the Australian star trips her over, try to go for a guillotine kind of lock. This is where did she try to go for a gator roll, which that was a probably smart move from Harley. This is where then she got her in the sleeper hole, but Athena, like this is where then she goes up with a guillotine. This is where then she unfortunately like got her on for a little bit. Luckily, fortunately, that Harley Cameron, which some of y'all probably claiming I'm being biased right now. Hey, like it's my podcast, like I'm just pointing out like what needs to be said. But anyways, this is where we got what's Athena go for a wrist lock onto the Harley, which yeah, Harley Cameron didn't phase that whatsoever. She ends up getting an arm drag though. Like this is where we got the CEOs like, come on, tag me in, Harley. Like don't let her punk you like that. Which who could like who want to lay around like where when Athena is attacking you like because she's a very terrible human being in AEW, but like along with her protege Billy Starks and blah, that that biscuit iced tea chicken hotcakes man. Kazuchika Okada and the man that's in commentary for the night temporarily being the substitute for Nigel McGuinness. Must have been Nigel's idea to have Donald Callis to take his place. Like, yeah, the curse, the nerve of that guy. Like which Donald Callis is nothing but I'll say a talentless wise man wannabe, like because he wishing to be, if he's the wise man, he couldn't even be Kenny Omega's wise man when he had the opportunity of doing so, of being so, I should say, yeah. But anyway, this is where we got Julia Hart eventually got tagged in. She started taking over, started going for this wrist lock, or not wrist lock, this arm bar lock majiggy until Harley Cameron gave a little bit of a 5% of a raft to Julia Hart to show like if what will happen if she gives him the full raft, which that was yet to happen. But this is where she ends up getting trying to go for a pin, a little roll up, which is kind of the devastation until she gets set right into the upper right corner side, but this is where she hangs on right into the upper right corner side. This is where we got Julia Hart go for elbow driver. This is where we got Julia Hart then gave a very uncomfortable maniacal smile, like which I then took it personal because we all know that you wasn't doing that to your boy SNA, maybe to Lee Johnson, but not SNA. But anyway, this is where we got we got Harvey Cameron going for a duck for a clothesline, go for a step up into gear, which he knocked her off clean cut. This is where the this is where we got Harley try to go for a pin, but unfortunately, she only got like a 2.2 count, if I'm mistaken. But this is where then we got the Harls then try to send her right into her corner, where the CEO then finally tags herself in the which she hold on to, which Harley hold on to Julia, so we could get Mercedes Moné go for a power slam, only for Julia Hart to counter out of it, go for a schoolgirl, like which is we all know is the devastating move in all pro wrestling, but that didn't even last for even at 0.9. This is where then we got Monet to try to go run up and attack her, but this is where she ends up getting backslide, which I believe that was the wrong position for Julia Hart to do, unless if she's trying to steal her finishing maneuver to Monet Maker. But this is where we got this is where Monet ends up shoulder tackling her when she got eyes from the left side. I'm like, gee, I wonder where she learned that from. Like, but anyway, this is where we got the CEO then went right up into the upper like right corner side is where she tried to put her in the tree of woe position, start stomping on her with the referee's like, all right, you made your point, Monet. And this is where then she's like, okay, like, but not quite yet. And that's what she was like, and this is for you, like in Emporia or wherever the city that's called in Illinois. This is where she gave him a little Monet rain dance. Luckily, that the bitch man wasn't there to see it, like because he don't deserve it. But this is where we got. And the reason why I say that because it reminds me like when I say like raining and raining money and stuff like that, and he makes the rain happen. Like that's the reason why I was thinking like what he would say, like he called like the rainmaker, like or whatever that like which he cannot control anything of the weather whatsoever. That's why he's just a bitch man. And I apologize, I had to say it. I'm Super Ninja Austin for a good reason. But anyways, this is where we got when she tried to go for a middle drop kick. Unfortunately, she missed Julia Hart, but she went right up to like too slow Monet, and this is where then we got Mercedes then was like, oh yeah, this is where she tried to spear right into this trio of position, only for her to dodge yet again. Unfortunately, she just double whammied her, even though it was not with the same move, which I don't know how that's logical, but she goes for a wheelbarrow roll up, but luckily that she kicked out of it. But this is where then we got this is where we got what's her name? Julia Hart goes for duck out of a clothesline from the CEO. This is where the CEO to try to go for a sidewalk slam, only for her to get countered by Hart by hitting this what's it called, the octopus lock, which is called like. Which others call it the Widow's Peak or the Black Widow, which I wonder who that is. But this is where we got Harley Cameron did the most genius distraction that the most I'll say the most hilarious one in the trick of the book in professional wrestling. And that is brought in a puppet as a distraction to Julia Hart, like which is shall I say the mini Monet, which I guess that what's her name, the CEO herself, like likes to call her, like out of tolerance, of course, not because she wants to, but anyways, this is where then she. This is where we got Harley Cameron grabbing the puppet. This is where I was like, yeah, like this is why, like, like that she's like the best, like what she's doing in AEW. She reminds me of a female Australian version of my boy Simon Miller with his puppet. Simon Says. But yeah, this is where then we got. This is where she threw the puppet in there. This is where I was like, usually it would be a mockery creation, but this time it was a perfect distraction to help out the CEO to just get out of it. Hit this the tombstone power driver version of, or like it looked like she about to hit a tombstone, but she turned into like a face breaker, like a cold breaker when she dropped her down onto Julia Hart's face. But this is where we got the CEO try to go for a pin, but this is where the referee drove for one, went for two. But this is where Mercedes didn't say like, sugar, honey, iced tea. Well, she didn't say the words in particular, but yeah, it looks like it. And the look of her face, that's where then we got, then she started hitting some right hand to the face, like if she's going for a Luthez press. But this is where then we got like the partial powerful force and all the professional wrestling came on, which was the picture-in-picture commercial break, some that AEW like showing. But this is where like we start seeing tags in and tags out with between Mercedes and Harley, like when they were taking care of what's her name, Julia. Yeah. But this is where, like, but once Monet got back in the ring, this is where then we got or trying to prevent Julia Hart of tagging in Athena, and I was like, please, don't let her tag in the hypocrite. Like, no, like she's the one calling you passive aggressive. Well, she's talking because she was the one being passive aggressive with the CEO, and the old saying goes like, there's a price to pay when you mess with Mercedes Moné. Well, she's gonna be paying that damn price when the next time they meet. I'll say, but for now, like they're doing this tag team match for like probably exhibition purposes, I guess you could say, in this level like of this competition. But this is where then luckily Monet ends up throwing Hart right back where into Harley's corner. This is where she started hitting some stomps right into the midsection, start kicking her. It's like, oh no, you're gonna like you're gonna stay right here until you get defeated, and you're gonna feel the wrath. Which yeah, I was hoping that does happen, but this is where we got like once you try to go for a dive, this is where Harley ends up getting hit with a kick or stomp or whatever that what's her name Julia Hart did. She ends up getting. And this is where we got what's her name Julia Hart had that bright elbow onto poor CEO Mercedes Moné. This is where she went right through underneath Harley Cameron. This is where we got Harley Cameron trying to go for a German suplex. Unfortunately, that did not work out. She ends up getting elbowed by the female member of the Hounds of Hell. This is where she tags in the hypocrite. This is where the self-proclaimed war goddess came in. And this is where Monet tried to go for close. Not only for her to never get super kick in the midsection, but luckily she caught her leg, spin her around, try to hit her with the Money Maker. Unfortunately, that did not happen because Athena flipped right out of it. I don't know how she did, but this is where she ends up going for try to go for her version of Money Maker. Like, luckily she didn't do that. I was about to say talk about insult to injury, but luckily that did not happen. But however, Athena went right to the left side, bounced back, hits a middle drop kick onto Monet. But luckily Harley Cameron tried to come in to help out her temporary tag partner, but only for her to get kept right in the shoulder. But this is where we got Monet trying to go for a crossbody, only for. But this is where they try to go for a fall away. This is where it goes for a drop and fall away slam, which I'm not sure what you would call it. I guess you could call it hopefully I don't sound offensive, the African American drop, like given her culture. But this is where Athena hits a full arm strike onto poor Harley, and she probably got away with it for sure if it wasn't for a very lucky, fortunate save. Which some y'all probably saying like, how come y'all saying the meddling Monet? Well, I guess you could say that because yeah, that does make sense because it's a double M kind of scenario. So I guess you're right that if it wasn't for meddling Mercedes that had to come in and stop her from winning the match, which that was a good thing, like because she don't deserve to win any matches after being so I'll say rude and so disrespectful to every wrestler she meets. But this is where we got Athena go to the right corner side, hit the suicide dive onto the CEO, which he did some flips, like went back first. Is where we got Athena's like, yeah, like now stay down, like and I'm gonna win that one. Her come to me, which I doubt that she would. This is where Harvey Cameron hit the tornado DDT on her, which she must have downloaded Super Ninja Austin on 2K24 to do that. This is where we got. This is where we got not Harvey Cameron. What's her name? Julia Hart then goes up right up on the top rope, try to go for a dive on everybody that's in the ring. That's where she didn't even care it was Athena too. She did it to her as well because who could blame her? Because she must have said some disrespectful stuff to her, even though she was her temporary partner for now. Every woman was down now in the ring. This is where fans were chanting, "This is awesome," and that's why it's not gonna just it's not gonna get like any better. Like would get the golden trophy of the night. It probably would have gotten the platinum if it wasn't for the finish. But hey, like the old saying goes, beggars cannot be choosers. At least Anthony Khan gave us this. But this is where we got what's her name? Athena brings back Harley back in the ring, start hitting some repeated power bombs. This is where she ends up getting tagged in by Julia Hart. This is where I was about to say, oh boy, like no, like hopefully they're not gonna win. Like nothing against Julia Hart, just that I just not sure if I want to see Athena win. It's like basically getting tortured. Like, yeah, or worse than getting tortured, I should say, in that matter. But this is where we got Julia Hart try to go for a moonsault. Luckily, Harley moved out of the way. That gave enough time for Mercedes to get back in the ring, hit a backstabber right onto what's her name? Julia Hart, just like good old time 6 on the other company. But this is where we got what time Athena came in. This is where we go try to go for the tag. This is where then she caught the CEO by surprise, like grabbing her, lifting her up, hit the single arm slam back first onto her. I'm like, no, like curses, the mockery. Even though like she was not doing it to her, still in her move, but she nearly did, and also like it was a move from another women's wrestler that's on the other company. Like that's reigning defending women's tag team champion. Like funny thing I mentioned that, and let's say one of these women's wrestlers are a former women's tag team champion. Well, Athena is the former women's tag, but on their developmental show, while the CEO is on their main show, which I'm making this more obvious than I ever did before. But anyway, this is where we got Harley Cameron. Then this is where she goes for the spinning crossing neck breaker or cutter maneuver onto Athena, looks similar to like a certain road that you cross, like when you hit that maneuver. But this is where we got Harley Cameron then wait for what's her name, Julia Hart, to get back up to hit her maneuvers to put her away, and I was hoping that was going to be the case, like, but the sad thing is that let's say that didn't happen. Well, first of all, because Julia Hart immediately got back up in some strikes. This is where they were in the wrestling tennis situation. This is where, but that didn't even matter because Harley Cameron hit the feet right onto what's her name, to Julia Hart. This is where we got. This is where then she hit her signature. This pickup back suplex pump handle majiggy maneuver. And then second of all, like the reason why that we didn't get like. You didn't get the fortunates happen. This is where when as soon as what's her name, Harley Cameron said, "Feel the wrath," and then this is where she's about to hit this cross-cutting maneuver. This is where we got what's her name, Julia Hart counted, kicks her in the midsection. This is where then we got trying to go for a power bomb. But this is where we got Harley Cameron to go for. This is where we got trying to hit this like what's that called, like atomic drop, or no, it was a Kanoku driver maneuver. But this is where it gets immediately countered by Julia Hart with what's that called, the octopus lock. This is where the CEO looked like she was about to stop, but this is where she ends up getting stopped by Athena, like, which that was very unfortunate. This is where what's her name, Harley Cameron had no choice but to tap out, or she's gonna get stopped. And this is why I was like the irritation from Athena. Hopefully this don't continue. But so one thing like about Julia Hart, however, it seems like she's definitely not going to be winning at AEW Dynasty tomorrow. And I'm going to try to do my best to make promises of making a review video about that, which it'll probably be at the last minute, however. But yeah, let me know about this in the comment section right down below. But like I said, at least we got this match, and I believe this was the first ever main event match for both Harley and Mercedes. Like at this situation, especially with them being as a tag team, even though it's not like a permanent tag team. But maybe they should consider being a duo, even though they're not have anything in common, like when it comes to their personas. But given that this works in some shape or form, like it just works like out of entertainment perspectives. But let me know down in the comment section right down below about this team pairing, or do you think this was a little too silly, or do you think this was a perfect move from Anthony Khan? Even though like Harley's the baby face and Mercedes is the heel, but that don't even matter. Like as long as if it's gonna be like, as long as they have like history, like with them, like having the respect that they do have with one another, even though they had some mini heat with one another, but it was probably for over the TBS championship in that perspective, not like nothing personal. And even they even said that with about each other, like with them, like respecting them, like in their talents and then how they got into the wrestling business in the first place and stuff like that. But when it comes to competition, they're going to have to put their differences right, right in front of their faces first, I guess you could say, before they can despite having respect with one another. That was probably the situation. And some people say like that they don't live in kayfabe, especially the CEO, which like those haters like just don't know like what the definition of that if it whacked him upside the head with a steel chair. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, this is where This is where we got the CEO herself that was very, very disappointed about like the duo of Athena and yeah, what's her name, and Julia Hart like ends up getting the W. And yeah, like I said, like not. Yeah, it just seems like Julia Hart's definitely not going to be making it round one at least. But this is where then we got Athena was holding on to that mockery of a champ, what you call a championship, which is the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, the Spendable Championship, looking like if it's a looking like if it's a like a wannabe hustle, loyalty, and respect type of custom championship belt with it spinning around all over the front plates of the belt. But yeah, but yeah, and let's see, what else I was about to say. But let me know down in the comment section right down below this match. And do you think that one day we like that AEW will be presenting a women's tag team division? And I wonder who should be the inaugural champions on that. But I would say tonight's AEW Collision, like it was totally terrific. Like with plenty of matches to build things up for tomorrow night's pay per view, and also like the I'll say and I'll say the matches from start to finish, like in general, was pretty fantastic. Only thing problem I probably had was with Athena winning the tag team match, even though it was not by defeat, it was by actually by surprisingly helping Julia Hart. Even though like it was something that was because that she has some kayfabe intentions with the CEO. That's the reason why she did that. But we're gonna see like if she's gonna go past the Raft creator as soon as next week's Dynamite, I believe that's when they're gonna be fighting. But let me know down in the comment section right down below about that. But yeah, I would give AEW Collision like I'll say even the face-to-face segment with Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia, even though he was trying to put himself over like as a future champion in AEW, but like and despite him like saying half the stuff he was saying was true, like the one thing I don't disagree on is Daniel Garcia is not ready, which I think he is ready. That's why he's the champion. That's why he won that championship in the begin with to show that he's not like a rookie no more when it comes to being in AEW's roster. He's the pro into the division, like, and that's why he's the champion right now as we speak. So I'll say AEW Collision. Hopefully it doesn't sound too like self self happiness or whatnot, like or whatever some of y'all are self I'll say I'll say, yeah, like self-awarding or whatever the scenario like y'all would like to put it. But I'll say I'll give AEW Collision a 4.5 to make it fair. But yeah, like let me know down in the comments what your thoughts on it. I thought they did a super great job. This is gonna make me second guess of any or question anything about Anthony Khan's booking about anything on the show because yeah, like he's here to put smiles on our faces, like for us true AEW fans since day one. Like, but yeah, let me know down in the comment section right down below, like what's your opinion. But now I'm gonna do my prediction little segment, starting off with the 6-man tag match between Nicholas Wayne and the team of them, Leo Rush and what's his name? Leo Rush and what Action Andretti against Top Flight and AR Fox. And I'll say since they were on top, first of all, like onto this go home show and secondly, like it seemed like that they want to put the baby faces over, like for sure, once and for all. I will have to give it to say Top Flight and what's the Action Andretti. My final prediction will be on. Then first off, we're gonna be starting off with the tournaments like of the first round. First, we're gonna do Will Ospreay taking on or should I do Mark Briscoe against Kyle Fletcher? And as much as I think Kyle Fletcher probably gonna make it to this round, it's just that it seems it seems like he's gaining with all the momentum, like heading into of Dynasty. So I'm not sure, but since like I think like Osprey's gonna, I think about Osprey. I was like he's gonna. This is gonna be a close contest, but I think it's gonna be uh, could be Kyle Fletcher. Now thinking about it now, I'll think about Mark Briscoe, but I'm gonna have to give it to Kyle Fletcher. Where it looked like Mark Briscoe could look like he's about to win, like whether if he's about to hit him with the J Driller or something like that, only for Kyle Fletcher to stop him, to hitting him with the pile driver or the brain buster or whatever maneuver that he got, and he's gonna defeat him that way. My final prediction: Kyle Fletcher moves on to the second round. Next up, we got the other men's one. We got Will Ospreay taking on Kevin Knight. And I'll say Kevin Knight's probably going to bring the fight to the aerial assassin. He's gonna prove that why he belongs in a company like AEW. Like with him, like probably the last time they did fight each other was like in their time in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but now it's in the big leagues and America's wrestling fan base. At least in that perspective, of course. But yeah, like we're gonna see who is exactly like worthy of being like an Owen Hart Cup champion. And I think like it could like Kevin Knight will prove that he's of the future like in many ways. But despite that, I just don't think he's gonna take home the W like into this first round, and he's gonna probably be in plenty of more Owen Hart Cup tournaments in the foreseeable future. But it's probably not gonna be his night, at least not tomorrow night, like winning in this tournament. So I'm gonna give it to Will Ospreay with him finding a way to put down the young star for good for the 1, 2, 3. Whether if it's with the hidden blade or that spinning twister neckbreaker maneuver, but either way, my final prediction: Will Ospreay gets the win. And he's gonna move on to the second round as well, just like his former teammate, what's his name, Kyle Fletcher. Well, I was about to say Kanosuke Takeshita. That didn't make any sense. But moving on, we got the women's now. Like we got the CEO Mercedes Four Belts Monet taking on Julia Hart in the finals. You already know, like given like in this review video in the main event, I was like, yeah, like we now know like who's gonna be winning this. Well, I'm a get into like in the storytelling perspective, telling you in the storytelling perspective, like for you, it makes sense for you guys to understand why I think this, why who's gonna win this contest, and that is like that like given that like Julia Hart kind of have a little bit of a year worth of history with the CEO ever since she debuted, even though she's been injured for probably the mass majority of 2024, ever since she dropped the belt to Willow, the Pillow, which Monet soon after challenged Willow for that title because like she was her last opponent, like when they fought in New Japan for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, crown who's the first ever champion, which like Monet unfortunately got injured, and then she had the what's it called, like had to have Willow the beat her like in order to in this match sooner rather than later. Like which I'm talking more in the insider realistic side of things rather than kayfabe. But anyways, but yeah, like this where like in Cincinnati, you were trying to get some redemption from that, which she did when she won the TBS championship, and she got some double redemption when she captured that exact same belt as well, the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, and beat that Krina girl that's from Stardom that I heard that officially stopped with AEW, which I hope that she won't be making a return, on-screen return, I should say, anytime soon, because with all due respect, Krina just creeped me out. But anyways, this is where we got but yeah, like, but since we got Julia Hart, like, not only fighting for the Owen Hart Cup tournament, not because that she might think that she's related to Owen Hart, but only because like she wants to have this match genuinely, which is probably a dream come true to be in the ring with someone like the CEO, like with her being a well established female wrestler. I mean, who would not want to get in the ring with her? But anyways, this like I think that we could see we can see like with her trying to do everything she can to beat her and be the first ever woman to beat her. And some of y'all probably say like, didn't she already did that? But no, she made Harley tapped out, not Monet. Like so that does not count. I think she's still undefeated. Even though this was her probably first loss in the tag team, even though she never got submitted or pinned it, which Anthony did a pretty good job. Like if you're gonna continue to the have her be like an unbeatable force, like you do not have her take the pin or submission. So I think that like that will be like a close call like in this match right here with Julia Hart will be close of hitting like heartless, the octopus lock, or even her other finishers that you do a pinfall with, only for her to keep getting kicked out and denied by the CEO. And this is where we'll see Monet will make a comeback, hit a Monet maker, or maybe even a statement maker, or even both. Like maybe with the Monet maker go first, and then go for the statement maker, making her. I'm not sure if we should make someone like Julia Hart that's in the level like the CEO, like should be losing by submission by tapping out. Maybe she could lose by pinfall, make it less of a make her look less weak, I should say. So I'll say have her hit the money maker. 1, 2, 3. My final prediction: CEO Mercedes Moné is gonna be winning the first round of the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. The first match, I should say, like the move on to the second round, which I think that's gonna be the semifinals. No, the semifinals. No, yeah, I'm right. The semifinals. Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the other matches. We got next up, I'm gonna start off with the trios tag team match. I'll say since the Death Riders were on top, like on a gain of momentum, I'll say it had me thinking and reconsidering on who's gonna be winning. Like in a way, since I just happened like what happened tonight on Collision, like with them, like with what's his name, Pac beating Cash Wheeler with them standing on top, even though the rated FTR didn't make up for it. And even if that they do have a rematch down the road, I think we could see it happen. But I'm gonna do something that's probably unusual that I'm gonna do on my predictions video, which I promised that I'm gonna be doing, like maybe do some sudden changes. I was assuming that maybe rated FTR could fall out on one another, or maybe with two and the other, like will fall out like in this 2-on-1 situation. And this is where it can give the Death Riders enough advantage. I mean, don't get me wrong, get no doubt about it. Maybe this still could happen. But at the same time, I just think that maybe we could see like that's gonna motivate them of beating the Death Riders like with them like not giving up no matter what move the Death Riders hit. They're just gonna keep kicking out, whether it's Claudio swings or his neutralizer or Willa Yuta's maneuvers, whatever he does, and Pac's maneuver, which is the brutalizer or the black arrow or whatever move that he used. It's gonna keep getting denied by Red FTR. They found a way to trap the Death Riders, hitting the Shadow Machine, the Spear. One of them probably get the 1, 2, 3. And my final prediction is, Rated FTR becomes the new AEW Trios champions. But next up, we got the TNT Championship match between Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia, which is probably gonna be no time limit. And yeah, it's gonna probably like an hour-long match itself. Like for them gonna be battling it out. I think that we're gonna be seeing like plenty of moves and close calls and whatnot, like in reversals and interceptions and maneuvers that are successfully executed, but only for them to get denied by one another. And I think that we could see you can see Daniel Garcia look like he's about to put away Adam Cole, only for probably at the last minute to grab onto the ropes and probably get a rope break. And then this is where Adam Cole will finally make his comeback and then probably prove his point by hitting like super kicks after super kicks after super kicks, and then and probably like Paramount Sunrisers here and there, and then finally hits him with a move that he was trying to do in their last encounter. Like, but he ends up getting like when he got denied, like in that time limit draw for 20 seconds. Like, but this time it won't be no time limit. We can see like Adam Cole hits the boom right onto Daniel Garcia. I think this is the time for somebody to dethrone the young star, despite me thinking that Daniel Garcia proved that he's ready and he's a professional and a megastar into this division. But yeah, but despite that, like I just think that Adam Cole probably gonna be the one to dethrone him with the 1, 2, 3 of the boom with no time limit stopping him this time, and he can prove that he can beat him, and this is where I guess the rivalry could sort of continue. But my final prediction: Adam Cole becomes the new TNT champion. But this is where we can see a fallout where Daniel Garcia will shockingly turn heel here and ends up attacking him and saying like attacking him and saying that like I'm still ready. I still like deserve to be at championship, but he stole it from me or something like that. Like yeah, like come up with an excuse for what the Adam Cole just did to him, and then start beating him up until like there's nothing left of the now newly crowned TNT champion. But yeah, my final prediction, Adam Cole becomes the new TNT championship. Next up, we got the triple threat match between Kenny Omega taking on Ricky the Dicky Ricochet and Ricky the Dicky Ricochet and what's his name? That take on Ricky the Dicky Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey in this triple threat match, which I believe like what's the name? Ricky the Dicky and Speedball Mike Bailey will agree to take out the champion first, but you all know the rules. Like if we do that first, it's gonna be the complete opposite. But this way, but yeah, well, and but yeah, like I think that we could see like yeah, this happened. Next up, we got Chris Jericho taking on Bandito. Like what I was about to say, this fictional version of this guy. But yeah, Bandito yeah, for the final time for the Ring of Honor World Championship, and yeah, and because of it's gonna be the final time, like yeah, you're definitely gonna be knowing that Bandito's gonna try his hardest to make sure that he does win this ROH title, a title that he probably never won before. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, assassinators, but yeah, like I would see him like keep doing every single move that he has to offer with him getting the offense in. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chris Jericho will be doing his doing a great job doing some offense on his own. Even like what's it called even like what's it called doing some putting heelish maneuvers, even attacking what's it Bandito with hitting him with his belt or even taking off his mask like he did to his brother. What's his name? Uh what's his name? Gravity was it? Yeah, Gravity. We could see him could do something similar to like what he did then, but only for what's his name? Only for Chris Jericho's plan to go backfire, and this is where this ends up like cost Chris Jericho very deeply, like literally, and this is where like. And this is where we get what's his name? Bandito to hit his finisher onto him. Finally doing what he thought he would never do, even like 3 years ago when he like very first feuded with him over for the Ring of Honor Championship. When ever since Anthony bought out ROH, like when Jericho was the first when he held the Ring of Honor World Championship the first time when he fought him for the championship. But yeah, but yeah, but my final prediction: Bandito will finally dethrone Chris Jericho for the ROH World Championship. Next up, we got his learning tree students, Big Bill and Brian Keefe, like will take on the Hurt Syndicate's Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin for the AEW Tag Team Championship. And this is another dream match that I've been wanting to see in the tag team division next to the Hurt Syndicate fighting the Outrunners. And that is, yeah, the Hurt Syndicate taking on the learning tree. I'm like, yes, like this is where my nerd my nerd self starting to start doing 360s in the like probably like somewhere in the air in the clouds, like probably like 345,000 feet in the air. Well, I don't understand why I just made that and that kind of analogy, which that kind of sounds very weird. But anyways, yeah, my point is like I'm very I'm liking this match card that I'm seeing right now. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you. Like before I get to the AEW tag, I totally forgot about the triple threat match. But my point view was, but this is where we see like Ricky. This is where once they take care of Kenny Omega, this is where we can see Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey start going at it. This is where we saw Kenny Omega eventually get back in the ring, and then this is where he's like, how about me and you, Speedball, work together to take out on this little Dicky Ricky here, and then this is where then he. And then when they do that, is where they start going in there. This is where it like look like they're about to win by beating each other, only for Ricochet slither his cowardly self back in the ring, trying to get an easy victory, only for that plan to go backfire. Even when he has the chance to do, and he capitalize on it, it'll only just like will lead him so far, like only just like probably just the inch away, like from victory at 2.99999999999 double triple nine minus 0.1 away from victory. And this is where we get And this is where we got this is where we get Kenny Omega that ends up going for. So probably will go for what they call like a one-winged angel as soon as he onto Ricky the Dicky or even Speedball Mike Bailey, like after hitting like a V trigger or something, like the put him away for good. Like even though like both of these men will put on a perfect impression, and it will show that they can be future mid card champions if they stick around with AEW for long enough. But unfortunately, that day's not here right now, at least not yet. So we're just gonna have to see my boy Omega like be the victor here. And my final prediction, like Kenny Omega, retains the international championship. And especially if they're trying to build things, AEW trying to build things up into a title unification match between him and the bitch man Kazuchika Okada for his Continental Championship. This is probably the right direction you want to go into. And then maybe they can merge the championship, start calling it the International Continental Championship, which it kind of sounds a bit too similar to a very certain like international championship that's known as Continental as well. But we're not gonna be talking about that at this time. But we'll be talking about stuff about it like when I get done with this prediction segment. But yeah. But now we got the the Learning Trees, Big Bill and Brian Keith taking on the Hurt Syndicates of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. This shouldn't be a long match. It's probably gonna be similar to the Outrunners. Only for but it's like with the Hurt Syndicate being known as just tweener kind of characters. Like first they're like these dominant heels, but since they're starting to be fan favorites, they're trying to put them in this in between position, which I think they're gonna eventually gonna turn into full time baby faces. But yeah, we can see we did get some fun highlights with the likes of Big Bill and Brian Keith will do all kinds of moves to put away the Hurt Syndicate, only for them to keep getting denied by them. And this is where we can see the same goes with the Learning Tree when the Hurt Syndicate hit the move. This is where we can see That's where we can see probably Brian Keith could mess up and start paying attention too much on MVP, and that's where like that would probably cost him and his partner a shot at the titles, which will probably upset the 7-footer, which I'm gonna get into. That's where we can see someone like I don't know Shelton Benjamin go for the Pater or Bobby Lashley with the spear, maybe even hit the Hurt Lock to put the Bad Apple to sleep. And my final prediction, the Hurt Syndicate's Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin will retain their AEW Tag Team Championships. And this is where we can see like the lead up into a future split where Big Bill could possibly turn babyface by saying like I had an opportunity to win the tag team championship, something that I've been long waiting doing for over a year since I lost them to Sting and Darby Allin by a tag team that's no longer even here, that ended up going to his own like that other company, winning mid card championships in that company. But anyways. But yeah, he ends up getting screwed by another little man. But this guy is staying but like I'm not gonna let him get away with from getting for screwing me out of the match. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. Like with them teasing that we can see a split right here, which I just think the lead. If this is very serious and very important. If AEW's trying to build Big Bill into a single star, this could be a perfect start to do it right here onto a pay-per-view like Dynasty for him to get into that path. But moving on, we got the Women's World Championship match, and it is timeless Toni Storm taking on Megan Bayne, and yeah. This is where we got what's his name? We could see what Megan Bayne could start off early and just hit her with F10s after F10s, but this is where we can see Timeless One keep kicking out of him. Like she may be down, but she's not out. But this is where she'll continue to do putting a more torturous maneuvers onto the Timeless One. But the Timeless One is just as crazy as the goddess of the Megasis, I guess you could call her. It is where we can. This is where we got the timeless one. Just ends up like just keep getting back up, no matter how many times that Chief gets falls down. But thanks to the Megasis, and this is where we can see Tony Storm then ends up once he gets right back up, then she goes like for like dives, hip attacks, you name them, like that, everything that you want her to do, she'll do. And then this is where we can see that's where to get back up. There's nothing that you. But this where this could be like in half an hour long match. And since there probably don't be not that much time to continue to have this match, this is where we could get. This is where we got. This is where we got Tony Storm to hit her with the hip attack, but not once, but like probably thrice, not twice. And this is where we get. And at first, you probably try to attempt to go for Storm Zero, only for her to get stopped by Megan Bain. This is where like this will get a close call, only for somehow like Tony Storm to counter like I don't know like for we could use for an example. Like Megan Bain probably going to hit an avalanche version of that Mega Sisters F10 maneuver, only for Tony to get out of it, dives onto her, hits her with Storm Zero not once but twice of a guarantee. 1, 2, 3, and my final prediction: timeless Tony Storm still going to retain with her chin up and her TITs out, which I don't feel comfortable when I say that. Like I'm not trying to sound inappropriate, but that's something that you like to say. And she's off with her shoes, like I believe that's something that makes Juice Robinson excited. Like since that he's injured right now, like giving something that like to be looking forward about anything with AEW, which I don't understand why I'm talking about other couples' business.
You're sick.
But yeah, how about we're gonna be talking about the main event match now? We got AEW World Champion Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland, and I think that we have history that's gonna repeat itself. It will indeed be like a title change here, like just like last year and last Dynasty when they debuted it, and we could see like Jon Moxley just keep. We're trying to. That's where we see Jon Moxley will do every torturous maneuvers on the Swerve Strickland, but Swerve Strickland will tell him like you're once if you're an inch up, like I'm just a mile away ahead of you. Like and it's where we can see like Swerve Strickland will start keeping up with him. This is where we see him do all his move sets and even doing his little dance moves. Like, this is where he would start shouting out whose house it is, like if he's Prince Nana. And this is where Swerve Strickland probably hit some house calls after house calls and after house calls, but still will probably be denied by kick out. Yeah.
I gotta run to Walgreens and get Zion some more formula because we're completely out. But him and Trey are both sleeping on the couch.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, and I will gladly help you out. Yeah, help you out. Yeah. But anyways, assassinators. I'll say. And we could probably see some outside interference with the Death Riders, with them trying to make sure that their leader will leave Dynasty is their world championship. But the thing is here, like they're not in Cincinnati. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you don't have to be in his hometown of Cincinnati to win a world championship. He proved that when he beat the American Dragon Bryan Danielson at AEW Wrestle Dream. And I think that they will probably be. And this is where I think that they could be close of winning the AEW World Champ. I mean, retaining the AEW World Championship, only for they'll be shocked by a surprise from their Ghost of Christmas Past, because here comes their past, like coming out there to help Swerve Strickland. Guess who it is? It's the guy that was the one that dethroned, the same guy that dethroned Swerve for the World Championship. Yep, you guessed it. It's gonna be Mr. Leader of the Yes Movement and the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. They'll come out there to help out Swerve Strickland, fight off the Death Riders, get his revenge. Then we'll see Swerve Strickland will get an opportunity to put away Moxley, hit the Swerve Stomp like he did to Samoa Joe a year ago. 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match, history repeats itself back to back to back. Like if he's my boys, then back to back Super Bowl Chiefs. He's so lucky to attend the show, him and the CEO, which I wish I was them. Like we're attending that Super Bowl show. But then again, I don't think that was a good performance though, like of the game. Other than the Kendrick Lamar, which they said that's the reason why they went because of Kendrick Lamar, which I probably would have went like because of that as well. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section right down below who you're predicting, and that's all my predictions. Like who exactly is going to be walking out is the victor of Dynasty tomorrow, live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Why they have to be in this city right now? Like yeah, it's starting to give me some cringe and some it's starting to make me feel insecure, if that's the right term to put it, and it's give me some type of unexpected PTSD. But I hope that I can cope from this. No pun intended from the rated R superstar. But yeah, like I'm just saying right here because I just not sure if I have mixed feelings for Philadelphia of the given the fact that football team like just like unfairly beat my back-to-back Super Bowl Chiefs. But yeah, don't worry. Next year they will win the Super Bowl again, and they're gonna make history for the 3 straight years in a row. They will. Mark SNA's words. But yeah, but besides all that, I cannot wait for Dynasty, and I'm trying to see if I can make a review video onto that. But I guarantee you tomorrow I will indeed be making a movie news video, which I'll be talking about from action packed to the what's it called action packed to comedy from independent to Hollywood movies. We're gonna be talking about all of it on the other channel at SNA Entertainment, and yeah, make sure that y'all check that video out. Which I'll be talking about the wildest and intriguing movie news and rumors that you assassinators need to know, which is gonna be on the Movie Web article, and yeah, and I hope that you assassinators will have a tremendous rest of your Saturday night. And also, like this video, smash the subscribe, post notification bell. And for those that's going to be watching my wrestling news video on Monday, along with Raw, and also which are going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which I'm not sure what exactly is going to be happening in particular. I'm trying to think what's going to be on the card, but if I have enough time to make AEW Dynasty, I'll probably make a review video on that as well, which expect that to be for tomorrow, when I get done watching everything on the show. But yeah, I cannot wait to be doing all that stuff on the SNA podcast. Wish me the very best of luck onto that if I can be able to have a chance to do that. I'm trying to see what matches that's going to be on the card for Raw, though, just to have something to fall back on Monday night. On April, which is going to be on April, I'll say 7th. Yeah, April 7th, 2025. Yeah.
Hey, Super Ninja.
Yeah, bro.
Can you do Premier a favor?
Yeah, sure.
She wants you to help her get some tater tots.
Absolutely.
After 8 minutes, because it's doing it for 8 minutes.
Okay.
And she needs to turn the stove off because it's on 425.
Okay, no problem.
We're gonna run and go get the baby some milk, but she's gonna come in here and get you one.
Okay, no problem. I'm glad we be there to help her. I'll say we will be seeing the return appearance of Seth freaking Rollins. We also will be seeing Lyra Valkyria defending her women's Intercontinental Championship against the women's wrestler that claims to be $1 million, which we probably know that's may be the case in some capacity. But yeah. But yeah, let me know about in the comment section right down below what your take on the matter. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow, guaranteed on the movie news, and likely probably on the AEW Dynasty review video show. But for now, I wish you all the best. And I wish y'all to have a safe and miraculous night. And I'll see you next time with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out of here. And I'll give a shout out yet again to my boy Anthony Khan for satisfying the assassin, for putting on a very fantastic episode of AEW Collision, and almost got a perfect 5 stars. And I hope he continues the put on more great collisions like he did tonight. And yeah, and we're gonna be talking about here on the SNA podcast. But for now, I will see you guys soon. And this is the goodbye. Goodbye for now. Peace.